Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for watching today. Today we are back from Star Wars Celebration Anaheim 2022. We're back home, and man, this weekend was such a blast. It was one of the best experiences that we have had in a very long time. So cool being able to go out, be with my fellow Star Wars fans, and we just celebrate the thing that we love, which is everything Star Wars. The movies, the books, the games, the TV shows, everything was celebrated. The lore, just the fandom in general, the cosplay, everything was so cool to see, and it was really fun to be able to make content for you guys as well while we were out there. We do have a bunch of videos up on the channel, including a lot of just walkthroughs of the show floor and everything, showing off some of the stuff that we were able to buy or pick up while we were out there, and also some interviews where we were able to talk to our friends over at Citizen, along with at Funko and Loungefly. So that was really cool, just the entire experience. I'm just definitely grateful for being able to go out there. And then we also got to have a little bit of fun outside of that, going to Disneyland. So it was so cool just being able to go out there, something that we were not expecting to go to a few months ago, ended up coming together. And now we were able to go to Star Wars Celebration and make some amazing memories because of it. But it was our first time going out to Star Wars Celebration, and the only other kind of big convention that we've been to, other than kind of local cons, has been D23. And D23 is a really awesome experience. If you guys are Disney fans, Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, any type of fans like that, I definitely recommend going out to D23 at some point. But this was our real first kind of bigger con other than D23, so we weren't quite sure how it was going to work, and we definitely had some lessons from this weekend. So I want to talk a little bit about the experience and also pass some lessons on to you, some things you should keep in mind when going into Star Wars Celebration. But the first tip I would actually be giving is to plan out your days. And I want to say, by planning out your days, I mean looking at the schedule and just picking out the things that you are most excited for on those days, and try to plan your day around that. Because there was just so much to see. There's so many different panels. You have your main panels on the celebration stage, and then you had some of your other panels that were on the Galaxy stage or Twin Sun stage, or going over to Rancho Obi-Wan, and so some of those other things they have at the convention along with the show floor. So there was a lot to see. But it's important for you to pick out those one, possibly two things that you're most excited to do on those days, and plan your day around that. Because unfortunately, when you go to some of these panels, especially the bigger panels like they had the Lucasfilm Showcase or the Mando Plus, that's something you probably have to wait in line for multiple hours in order to get in, unless you were lucky to get the reservation time for it. So on Saturday when they had the Mando Plus panel, I knew I had to go straight to the line for Mando Plus to try to get in. Luckily, we were able to get into that panel. It was absolutely worth it. If I missed that one, I definitely would have been really upset about it. But we were lucky to be able to get into that because we made that as our number one priority, our number one plan. And then when we got in there, then we had the rest of the day kind of free to be able to explore whatever else we wanted to do. And luckily, they had the Star Wars Celebration app that you're able to go in and actually favorite some of the things you're most interested in, so that way you can kind of have it on one screen, one schedule to try to plan out that day. But really, you want to pick those one or two things you're most excited for that day and try to build around that. Because if you say you want to go to 8 different panels in the same day, there's absolutely no way that you're going to be able to do that. And another tip I would give you is have a backup, because things are not going to go your way. We were very close for the Mando Plus panel of it not going our way, but we were luckily able to get into that panel, really one of the last ones, as we sat really high up during that panel. But if we did not get into Mando Plus, there were some other things that we were able to do. So try to have a backup just in case your first choice does not work out, because if you only have one option and you lose out on that option, your day might be pretty much ruined. So have the backup, so that way you can still have some fun and some different things to explore. And going along with that, I would say temper your expectations, because again, with things not going your way all of the time, don't expect things to be perfect. Expect some things to go wrong. Some of the things that I saw that went wrong was definitely with the communication from Reed Pop and the team that was actually running and staffing the convention, not really letting the attendees know what was going on or what to expect ahead of time. So there's a lot of confusion day of, and a lot of things were changing day to day, I noticed, especially with lining up for some of the panels, or when people could be let into things like the celebration store. There was a lot of confusion and things were constantly changing. So temper your expectations of things Don't expect everything to be super smooth right off the bat, because these are huge events we put on with a lot of volunteers, and sometimes things don't always go through the right way. Now let's get into some of the necessities of things that you definitely need to make sure you have before going to Star Wars Celebration. One thing that I say for sure you want to make sure that you have is phone chargers, and not just the regular charger plug into the wall, but your portable chargers, because you guys are going to see a lot of things out Star Wars Celebration you're going to want to take photos and videos of. You're going to be out there a very long time, so you don't want to be like those people who end up sitting on a wall for an hour missing everything in the convention because their phone is low on battery. Bring backup chargers because you're going to need them. We actually brought 5 different portable chargers, and we charged them every day in our hotel, so that way we were always ready, so we never got to a point where our phone was going to be dead, because we knew we always had more backup chargers in our backpack. And that was really important for me, especially since I was filming a lot of that stuff on the show floor, so I absolutely needed to have those backup chargers, so it worked out well for us. Another thing that I would say to bring is bring comfy shoes. You're going to be walking around a lot on the show floor, so you're going to want to make sure you have shoes that are comfortable. You don't want to get blisters on your feet after just a day or two of walking around, so make sure you bring comfy shoes because you're definitely going to need them. And off of that, number 3, I would definitely say bring a blanket or something that you can sit on, because you're going to find yourself sitting down on the floor, because when you're in line for 2 to 3 hours, maybe waiting for a panel, you're not going to be able to stand that entire time. So bringing something to maybe cushion your bottom a little bit, whether it's a chair, whether it's a blanket, like I said, maybe even a sweatshirt, bring something that you can sit on or lay on, because it will make that much more comfortable. And then another necessity that you're going to need is a refillable water bottle. They have refill stations around the convention, so it's going to be important for you to bring that, because if you want to buy a water, you want to buy a drink, it's going to be pretty expensive in the show, but you're going to need to rehydrate constantly, so buying 3 or 4 water bottles each day is not going to be conducive, financially. So just bring your refillable water bottle, keep it with you during the convention, because it's going to help out a lot. Plus, you don't want to end up hitting the con flu. Luckily, we did not get the con flu after leaving, so staying hydrated will definitely help you with avoiding getting sick. Now, for Star Wars Celebration, the regular 4-day tickets this time, I believe, were about $199 per person for an adult, which is not too terrible when you think about a 4-day event. $50 per day to be willing to the event. It's definitely worth it in my opinion. Now, some of the things I was talking about, waiting in long lines for hours, having to plan out your day like that, having backups in case you can't do anything, having to sit on hard floors while you're waiting for those panels, right? Some of those things could definitely be avoided if you purchase a VIP Jedi Knight Pass. And after being in this convention for 4 days, I can definitely see the value for getting that Jedi Knight Pass. You actually get first access into everything, the show floor, into all the different panels. You're guaranteed seating, so you pretty much just have to show up like 30 minutes early and you get into those panels without having to wait, compared to if you're in the standby line where you did not get a reservation. You then have to wait 2-3 hours to be able to get into that, and it's not even guaranteed. So if you could afford it, which this time was $900 per person, if you can afford that, I would definitely say that VIP Jedi Knight Pass is worth it, just because of all of the waiting around, and it's everything you get access to. I know for D23 Expo this year, they had announced their preferred seating, which just gives you preferred seating for the big Hall D23 events, which is just like one every day. I don't find that as much worth it, but with the VIP Jedi Knights Pass, you get access to everything, including the Celebration store, before anybody else. You go to the show floor 30 minutes early, be first in line. So I know on Thursday, they had the glow-in-the-dark Obi-Wan Kenobi Funko Pop there that sold out really quickly. Everybody who was VIP Jedi Knights were able to go into the Celebration store on Thursday, and I'm sure they were able to get that pop. I went in at about 10 o'clock that day. I was not able to get that pop, so anyone else who showed up 30 minutes before me was able to get that. So that's one of the big benefits of having that Jedi Knight Pass. I'm not sure if I would be able to swing it right now, but in the future, when it comes back stateside, if I can afford that, I would totally do the VIP Jedi Knights Pass, just to be able to make the experience a whole lot easier. So that was some of the stuff that I learned from my first Star Wars Celebration, but overall, I have to say it was a really awesome experience, and it was mostly put on very well by ReedPop and by Lucasfilm. The only thing I would want to have be better is the communication from the ReedPop team over to their staff, and then from there over to the attendees, because we didn't know what was going on. It was like even 3 weeks before the event, we didn't even know what the panels were. We didn't know how people were going to be getting into the panels. I tried to reach out multiple times to try to confirm how people were getting into the panels for myself and also for everyone else. They would not respond. They would not tell us anything. Even after they put in information, they wouldn't reach back out to really clarify at all. And then at the convention, a lot of the staff members didn't quite understand where to go, what some of the rules were, what some of the procedures were, and they were changing on a day-to-day basis. So that's the big thing that I would say I wish improved. But it was just so cool being able to get all of those sneak peeks at things. You know, being in that Mando Plus panel, Lucasfilm Showcase, being able to go to the world premiere of Obi-Wan Kenobi, definitely worth all the trade-offs that we had to give. Definitely worth waiting in those long lines to get into those panels. It was such a cool experience being able to meet Ewan McGregor as well, being able to see some of the different celebrities not only in the panels but also on the Star Wars live stage was super cool to see. So overall, awesome experience. Definitely recommend going if you are a Star Wars fan, if you could make it out to a Star Wars celebration. But expect there are some things that you have to prepare for, both mentally and by bringing some stuff. I think we prepared pretty well ourselves. We watched other videos and asked other people for tips of what we should bring and what we should prepare for, so that way we were better going into it. But the one thing we could not prepare for was things being disorganized or people not communicating over to us about what we were supposed to do. But that's going to happen at a lot of different cons, right? But overall, really cool experience. I loved it. But I do want to hear from you guys. For those of you who have been to Star Wars Celebration before, what would you suggest are the things that people have to keep in mind when going to Star Wars Celebration after they get their tickets? What are the things they want to make sure to prepare for? And did you guys go to this year's Star Wars Celebration? What were your thoughts on this year's event? I would love to hear from all of you guys in the comments down below. And of course, if you guys can, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that bell to be notified whenever we have new videos. And remember, we are doing our 2,000 subscriber giveaway very soon. So if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe and go check out our video on the channel about that 2,000 subscriber announcement so you can find out how you can get your chance to get in on our giveaway. But thank you guys so much for watching today. And as always, we'll see you again real soon.